My name is Mackenzie Jackson. My student number is 824799465. It's the 8th of July at 12:44 p.m. And we are doing the final design concept meeting with client 1. Okay. Hello, Jason.
Hi, Mackenzie.
How's it going?
Good, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So today we're just having a quick little meeting to go over all the final design pieces that we've put together. We're going to go over some stuff that you've already seen, but it's just for the general flow of the presentation. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the concept board, and then we'll go to the sample board. Then I'm going to show you the rendered perspective drawing, and we'll discuss that a little bit. And then I'll also next be discussing some color solutions, so why I chose the colors that I chose. Then we'll be doing some key design notes that I've put in, which is essentially the same thing with the colors, but why I've chosen the products that I've chosen. We're going to look at the cost of all of this that we're doing together and comparing it to your budget, and then I'll have some contact information at the end for you.
Okay.
Easy. Okay. First things first is the concept board. We've already seen this and we've both confirmed this one together. We've got a lot of mostly just blues and greens in there for your sun, and then of course the odd neutral, so we can continue forward with that. So here we have the sample board. We viewed this together in your son's room to get a better feel of the colours and how they felt in the space, both with and without artificial light. All the colours here I mixed myself and applied to the sample board for you to get the colours as accurate as possible. And then we move on to the rendering. So this image that I've drawn isn't going to be 100% accurate to what I had, what we have in mind, because I had limited access to some coloured pencils and stuff, and I'm no artist in terms of doing some rendering drawings, but that's okay. As long as you're happy with the general layout and how things are looking, we're happy. So this wall here is going to be the colour wash for the tranquil green that we looked at up here. We've got our lighter colours for the for the other walls in the room, and then the bottom half here for the rest of the walls as well is the moulding at the top, and then the blue at the bottom, and the moulding will also be painted the salt blue. That makes sense. And then same idea with the wood stains for the bed frames and the furniture. We're just going to be warming it up to a similar colour to the floorboards so that everything kind of matches. Beautiful. Alright, so next I just want to tell you and go over the colours that I've chosen and why I chose them for you, for your son. You have a high energy kid, so the whole concern for you was giving your son the space where he can relax and unwind after school, or on weekends and stuff. So blues and greens tend to promote feelings of peace and relaxation. I thought the greens would be good because it resembles a lot of nature and it will help your son stay grounded in the room. And the blue was more for that tranquility sort of feeling and to help him unwind at the end of the day. The neutrals, I was trying to go with some warmer tones, but the whole point of them is to tie in with the other colours so that they're not too bright or it's not too much for your son to be looking at. And it's just to soften the visual. So that takes me to our key design notes. So I'm just going to tell you about the placement of things and the items that we're using, so that it all kind of makes sense as to why I chose what I chose. So of course the colour wash wall was one of your requirements for me, and I chose to put it behind the bed so we can use it as sort of a feature wall. We're using some laminate flooring for the floors. The laminate flooring is spill resistant and pet and kid friendly. the slip resistant value is 25, so it's not high or low risk to slipping, but it will work for a high energy kid, especially when the goal is for them to wind down anyway. So the paint type we're using are Dulux Wash and Wear, so it's got a lot of positive properties to it. It's resistant to stains and easy to wash, so if your son makes a bit of a mess, it's easy to wipe down. It's got low odor and volatile organic compounds, so it's not going to smell super strong afterwards. And it also has a matte finish, so I chose a matte finish instead of some sort of sheen, so that the light reflection on the walls doesn't become too distracting for your child and doesn't overstimulate his brain. He's a high energy kid, and it's going to help him kind of just relax a little bit. Ceiling paint, we just went with normal Dulux ceiling paint in the colour that will be the same as the top half of the walls in that Lily Lock quarter strength. It's easy to clean, it's resistant to mold, and again, low VOC, so no strong smells for your kid. And then the wood stain, we chose obviously one that was going to match the flooring. It provides a layer of protection as well as stain in the one coat, and it's also scratch resistant, so should last you a long time. Beautiful. And then lastly here we've got our budget and costing. So you gave me a budget of $5,000, and based off of everything that we require to make the vision a reality, including trades, so a floor layer and a painter, the total cost had come down to about a bit under $4,000, which I think is a positive because it gives us extra money in case there's an emergency situation. If we can't find a painter for some reason that is available in the time that we need and we have to settle for a more expensive one, for example, or just emergency situations, because you can never be too careful. And then obviously the pro of that is that if we don't need that money, you've got that money and you can use it however you need. So yeah. And of course, this is all my contact information. You have my phone number and my email there. And when we get trades in and we start work on the project, everything in regards to communication will be primarily through Facebook Messenger. We'll do a group chat so that everyone can tap in and say what they need to say when it needs to be said. And then we'll do an on-site meeting at the beginning of the project when the trades first come in, and then we'll do one final one at the end. And of course, if there's an emergency where we all need to come in and have a conversation, then we can go in. Does that sound good?
Sounds fun.
Awesome. So I do just need some feedback from you, if that's okay. I'm going to be taking notes. I would like your thoughts on the presentation, please.
I think the presentation was pretty good. So certainly understand my costings. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yep.
So that's probably one thing that's lacking from your presentation.
Yep.
Yeah, outside of that, presentation is pretty good. I can see the colours, I can visualise it all together, so no problem.
And did you want to make any changes before we go ahead with the renovation?
Yeah, I think the only change I would make is just in regards to the blue on the wall, that I'd like to see a quarter or half strength. I think it's a little dark, but I think the colour scheme actually works. And I think it works because you're not just looking at my son now, you're looking at my son as they grow. So the colour palette won't need to change at all. Beautiful. as they're growing.
And just to confirm, the blue that you wanted is the one with the moulding, yeah? The soft
Yes.
blue? Yep. Awesome.
And I also like the dado rail that you added.
Yeah.
Very good touch.
Beautiful. Awesome. That's all I need for you. As long as you're happy with everything else otherwise,
Yep.
we can conclude the meeting.
No worries. Thank you very much for your time.
Anytime.